So what's going on guys, Kate is here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best beginner guide for new players in Albion Online. So I will show you how to go from tier 1 to tier 8 very quickly. Then I will explain how do you redeem 100,000 fame for free, then how and where do you want to farm for the best silver possible, and much more. So if you are a new or returning player and you want to level up in this new and fastest way, then this is the video for you. So with that said, let's get right into it. So then moving over to the first thing that you will ever do when starting in Albion, and it is creating your character. So you pick your avatar and customize the way you like. But before clicking enter the world, you want to check this button called play tutorial. By playing the tutorial, you will get free 3 days of premium. So for you to level up fast, this is very important to do. Then from here the tutorial part starts, which is self-explanatory. So you just watch the top right side of your screen and then the bottom right side, which is your map. And this tutorial will just quickly introduce you to basic movement and combat in Albion. Just don't forget that you have this F button called sprint, and then when you move to the next zone, you will get a mule. So to move from one zone to another one faster, just keep on using them as much as possible. So then when you get a quest called get to know your enemy, but before going back to the previous map, you want to stay here and keep killing enemies till you get to 256 silver. And you can see how much silver you have by pressing the inventory key, which is I, or just by clicking with your mouse on this character icon. But then when you are done, go back to the previous map and turn in the quest. And then the next one, which is called from beginner to novice. So then what you want to do here is click on the marketplace and buy 1 scholar cow, 1 soldier boots, 1 mercenary jacket and 1 bow. Then when you bought it, equip your new armor. And don't forget click on each item and select 1 ability. Then keep on doing quests till you get a new shore. And here when you click on traveler planner, you can pick 5 locations to teleport. If you are a solo player, then I would recommend to go to the Swamp Cross, because then you will be close to one of the best cities. But if you have friends and you want to play together as soon as possible, then depending on where your friends are, choose one that specific location. Then when you have teleported, accept the next quest from the Royal Soldier, and then turn it in at the Royal Commander. And by doing this, you will get 3 days of premium, which you can see here at the top right corner. So then moving over to the second part, which is the starter island. So when you complete the tutorial and get 3 days of premium, then now you want to get tier 3 armor as soon as possible. The fastest way to do this is just to run around the starter island and pick up a bunch of rough stone and wood, because rough stone sells from 120 to 180 silver each. So we can gather the super easy material, then we sell it, and from our profits we can buy the new gear without having to do anything else. Each tier 3 item sells for around 1.5k silver, so we want to get around 7 to 8k silver, and for me it took about 5 minutes. And by the way, you can see how much worth of materials you have gathered by opening your inventory, and here at the bottom you can see the estimated market value for your items. So then when we get around 8k silver, we want to go to the marketplace, then click on sell button and click on each material type. Then make sure that we have checked the first sell option, and then we click sell. And we do this for all the resources that we have gathered. Then from here we click on buy tab, and in the search bar type spear, and just make sure that it's tier 3. Then we buy 1 tier 3 spear, then 1 tier 3 torch, then 1 tier 3 soldier boots, then 1 tier 3 mercenary jacket, then 1 tier 3 scholar's cowl, and then lastly, if you still have silver, then buy 1 tier 2 or tier 3 bag, depending on which one you can afford. So then from here we actually don't need to do any quests or anything like that to progress to tier 3. Albion Online, to boost up their download numbers, implemented a new feature that if you download Albion on your phone and log in just for a second, you get 1000k fame for free. So what you want to do is now close your Albion Online on PC and open up your phone, go to the Google Play or Apple Store and download Albion Online and log in with the same details that you did on PC. So then when you are on the character selection, click the character that you want to redeem this on and just log in for a second. Then on your phone, when you see the same place that you just logged out on your PC, then now we can close our phone and uninstall Albion if you want to. So then now we go back to our PC and log in the same character, and this new tab will appear. You have unclaimed rewards. So then you click on yes, and the claim rewards tab will open. So then when you see the cross-platform reward, click on claim button. Then afterwards you will see that you have 1 new email. So click on the email icon and click on that message. Then now click on take all button, and this pile of tomes item will be put in your inventory. So then we open up our inventory and click on use, and we will get 10 tomes of insights, which are worth 10,000 fame each. So we click on accept button and then open up our Destiny board, and here we can see that we need 9,000 fame to get to tier 3. So what we do is close the Destiny board, open up our inventory, and as one tome will give us 10,000 fame, so we click on the Tome of Insight item and click this button use once. Just be careful not to press use all, because we don't want to do that for now. So after we used one Tome of Insight, we just unlocked tier 3. So then now we can equip all of our new gear that we bought on the market. And of course don't forget to click on each item to select at least one ability. Then now we want to go back to the Destiny board, and we click on each item that we have equipped. And we can see that to reach tier 4, we need about 25,000 fame. So we want to do the same thing again, open up our inventory and use Tome of Insights 3 times. So after that is done, we can now equip full tier 4 armor. So we now go to the marketplace and let's check each tier 4 item. If you can't wait to start grinding monsters and going into dungeons, then you can settle for flat tier 4 armor. But so we don't have to spend more money in future, we want to grind a bit more and buy each gear piece at 4.1. So we see that basically each 4.1 item costs about 4,000 silver. So we want to go back to gathering rough stone, fiber, wood and basically anything else that we see in the same area. We will need about 20,000 silver. So we just keep on going around the circles in the starter island, and after about 10 to 15 minutes I got to 20,000 silver. So now again we go to the marketplace and sell all farm materials. But now instead of buying gear, we instead want to go to the first big city, which for us is Thetford. We want to sell in the Swamp Cross and buy it at Thetford, because in Swamp Cross you can get more money by selling the cheap material, because a lot of new players don't know what they're doing and buy this item. But we want to use our silver in Thetford, because there are many crafters that make 4 and 4.1 gear, so in a big city you will get cheaper prices for any gear. So we just simply get on our donkey and ride to the Thetford, which is 2 zones away. So as of right now we have traveled all the way to one of the big cities, which for me is Thetford, and we want to buy our 4.1 equipment, then use the rest of our Tomes of Insights and then start grinding to tier 5. So we go to the marketplace and buy one tier 4.1 mage cal, then one 4.1 mercenary jacket, one 4.1 soldier boots, one 4.1 spear, one 4.1 torch, and if you still have some silver, then get 4.1 cape. Remember, the way you search for these items is to type their name, then select tier 4 and then in the next selection, select enchantment 1. Then when you bought everything, then now we equip it, and don't forget to select one ability per item. And this time it actually matters which ability you select. So for your spear you go with the lunging strike, then for your boots go with the wanderlust and with the toughness passive. Then for your jacket take the bloodlust and the balanced mind passive, and then lastly for your head armor take the poison and aggression passive. Then from here we are almost ready to go. So then now let's open up our Destiny board and click on this Expert Reaver, and here we can see that we need about 45,000 fame to reach tier 5 Reaver, which will make us a lot stronger against tier 5 mobs. So we open up our inventory and select the Tomes of Insights item and then press use all button, and this will unlock the new Reaver and get us about 2 to 3 levels into each one of our items. So then now we go back to the marketplace and we want to buy one tier 5 map, so you just type map and select tier 5, and here we can buy our first solo dungeon map. It will cost around 5.5k silver, so if you bought all of your new gear, you should have about 0 silver. So remember how we make money. Go to one of the zones from the big cities and just gather some rough stone and anything else that you can find. And then once again come back to the town and sell all of your materials, and then buy this map. And then from this point and onwards, if you don't want to, you won't have to ever gather materials ever again. So after the map is bought, let's go to the next zone called Willow of Sight's March, but any tier 5 zone will be fine. And now let's select the map and click on use, and here the map will open up, and with this green circle it will indicate where we need to go. So then we go to that dungeon, and now we enter it and let the grinding begin. This is a simple solo player's dungeon, where you just kill monsters till we get to the final boss, then we defeat him, and in return we will get bunch of loot and a lot more silver. And this is what we want to keep on doing till we get tier 5 armor. So we buy one map then complete it by killing monsters, and in return we will get experience, which is called fame. And on top of everything else from the chest on each monster we will get silver. So we can keep on doing this as much as we want. For the best efficiency possible, you need to know what our build does. I picked the spear because it's one of the best new player weapons. But if you ever decide to switch your weapon, then you can easily do that as well, which I will cover in the future videos. But basically the way you use your abilities don't really matter against easy mobs, as long as you know what each ability does. So your spacebar is basic attacks, then your Q is a stab that you can hit multiple enemies with, then your W is cone of spears that do a bunch of AoE damage, then your mercenary jacket, when you activate it and use one of your auto attacks, it will heal you, so when you get to low HP you want to use it on the enemy, and you will get your HP back up very quickly. Then we have our D ability called poison. which just makes that every normal attack that you do will poison the enemy. And then lastly we have the F ability, which will just give you faster movement speed, so use it to run around the map a lot faster. So after you complete your first solo dungeon, you want to keep on doing this till you get to tier 5 armor and tier 6 Reaver. So let me explain. Let's open up our Destiny board and let's go to the Master Reaver. So in general there are 8 Reavers, aka 8 tiers. Each Reaver tier will make you stronger against the next tier boss. So right now we have unlocked tier 5 Reaver, which means that we can and should kill tier 5 mobs. And for us to progress to the next type of dungeon called Corrupted Dungeons, we first of all want to get our Reaver to tier 6, so we would be able to kill tier 6 mobs. And then for our gear we have unlocked tier 4 armor. And as you can tell, each category has separated tiers. So by killing monsters we unlock higher Reaver tiers. Then by using equipment we get to unlock higher equipment tiers and much more. For us to get to tier 5 armor, we need to get to level 10 on our gear. Like I said, we get levels by killing monsters and by using that specific equipment. So we just want to keep on doing it till we get to level 10. Here in the bottom you can see which armor level will unlock you the next armor tier. So level 10 will unlock you tier 5 armor, then level 30 will unlock tier 6 and much more. As a new player I would recommend to just kill monsters and level up that way, but as well you can kill monsters and use learning points, which is basically like a shortcut currency that you can use when in each level you get to at least 30% progress. So for example on this armor I can get a few more thousand fame and level it up, or instead I just use learning points and get to the next level right away. As a new player, you might want to experiment with different weapons and specializations, so I recommend to save all of your learning points for now. So then moving over to PvE, and if you're this far in the video, then usually from here players split into 2 categories, PvP or PvE. Of course you can do both of them together, but it will be much slower. So my personal recommendation is to first of all decide if you want to go to PvP or the PvE path. And then when you reach tier 8, then you can do the other activity to tier 8 as well. But basically if you decide to go to the PvE route, then you will want to gather and farm solo or open world dungeons and spots. So this is how it works. If you're a PvE player, that means that for now you want to stay out of PvP and just make silver, try to progress your tiers and etc. Well then there are 2 paths. The first one is to become a gatherer. I have already made a full gathering guide, so check it out. But basically as a gatherer, you want to gather resources and then level up your gathering and make money this way. As a gatherer, the same principle applies like before. So if you want to go from tier 1 to tier 2 and to tier 3 and etc, then you start using tier 1 pickaxe or tier 1 knife, depending on which material you want to gather. And the more you will use it, the more it will gain fame aka experience. So then you will be able to unlock better tools that will give you the ability to gather better resources and much more. But for a full in-depth guide, check my gatherer video. But then we have the second path, which is still PvE, but doing what we did before, which is just going around the open world and different dungeons and killing all the monsters. In return, you will get fame aka experience, which will level up your gear, and you will get silver as well, but not as much by just gathering. So here you have to decide, do you want to gather resources and make bunch of silver, or do you prefer just grinding mobs for XP and silver? Of course again you can do both of them, but at that point I would recommend to combine gathering with farming monsters. So either way gather materials from the animals that you kill, or just go around the open world and kill monsters and gather everything that you see at the same time. Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG, which means that you can do whatever you want. There are no quests or someone holding your hand, so choose one activity to level up very fast, or just be a jack of all trades and progress a bit slower, but it's up to you. So then moving over to PvP, and if you want to fight other players while making silver, then this is the path that you want to take. So after you get to at least tier 5 Reaver and tier 5 gear, you can start going into Corrupted Dungeons, which are similar to solo dungeons, just except killing monsters and that's it. Now you will kill monsters and at the end fight another player in a 1v1 for a chance to get all of the enemy gear. These Corrupted Dungeons spawn randomly, and you don't need to buy a map, so just run around the world and you can enter the Hunter difficulty. If you have at least 800 item power you get from leveling up your gear and using higher tier equipment. So that's why we want to do a few solo dungeons before going into here. If you decide that this is your path and you want to level up by doing PvP and PvE at the same time, then I recommend to watch both my Corrupted Dungeons videos. The first video will show you how to farm mobs in these dungeons, and then the second video will show you the best build and setup that you want to use. The first Hunter difficulty are not full loot, so you can try them out without losing gear. But then for a full loot PvP experience, where the most players play, then you first of all have to get to tier 6 armor, and then the full endgame PvP will start. So then with all of this said, let's move over to the last and final part, where I will show you how to get to the max level, aka tier 8. So as I showed you previously, you can get tier 8 the same way you go to tier 5 or tier 6. Decide which activity you want to do and then grind. The PvP has more risks, but better rewards and you get to do PvP. Or then PvE has less risks and takes a bit of time before you can start making huge amount of silver. The way I found fastest for tier 8 gear is from tier 4 to tier 5 do solo dungeons. Then from tier 5 to tier 6 go into corrupted dungeons hunter level. Then from tier 6 to tier 8 either way do only stalker level corrupted dungeons or tier 6 solo or group dungeons. And then for gatherers from tier 4, decide one material that you want to gather, as I want to level up my weapon level and at the same time gather, so I decide to do skinning. So from tier 4 to tier 6 I gather in tier 5 yellow zones, then from tier 6 to tier 7 I gather in tier 6 red zone, and then from tier 7 to tier 8 I gather in black zones. My recommendation is to save up your learning points till you 100% decide what exactly you want to do. Then as soon as you start making big money, your first big purchase should be on buying the 30-day premium. And here's the best video that will show you the top 6 ways to make money. And then lastly from here, if you do PvP and PvE and you have a lot of silver, but you want to level up faster, then don't forget about the Tomes of Insights, which you can buy for 20,000 each, and they will give you 10,000 fame. So if you ever want to speedrun leveling, then spend all of your money that you get from grinding and buy Tomes of Insights, and this will give you a lot more XP. If you have any other questions or you want to see any other guides for Albion Online, then check my channel or my Albion Online playlist, and the link is in the description, and you will find all the guides that you need, and that's about it. So with that said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback or other good Albion Online builds or guides that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I will see you in my next video, so take it easy, peace.
Yo, I ain't here for